This is the Walking with African Foundation's Year 2012 report on microfinance at work in the Kibwezi district of Kenya. We begin with Naum Mutiso. At age 58, she is HIV positive and stigmatized by her community because she lost her husband to complications of the disease. Her daughter-in-law, Margaret Mueni Kioko, is also HIV positive, as is her son, Kioko Muteti, a long-haul truck driver. Following a truck accident suffered by Kioko, Naum spent all of her savings to meet medical bills. She has been rebuilding her life through the Walking with Africans microfinance program, especially since commercial banks would not extend any credit to persons living with HIV, let alone a woman. Naum runs a small grocery store on the Nairobi-Mombasa highway, while her daughter-in-law Margaret is in charge of the adjacent restaurant that serves tea and ugali, a traditional Kenyan dish. Naum has been a successful member of her peer group, and with her second loan has built a water tank to provide a reliable water source for her restaurant and grocery store. She recently experienced a terrible business reversal with a robbery. Fortunately, her peer group employed an in-house solution to help her recover from this setback by approving a new loan, effectively refinancing her original loan. She has paid back the original loan and is successfully paying off the refinanced loan as well. Today, Naum is in her fourth 6-month loan cycle. Her daughter-in-law, Margaret, has been given her first small loan. Naum is proving to be one of the strongest clients in her group, making regular payments while steadily rebuilding her savings. Together with Margaret, Naum now regularly attends support meetings for people living with HIV. Recently, Naum expanded the grocery store and restaurant with the hiring of 2 employees to cope with growing business needs. The microfinance loans have made a critical difference for Naum and Margaret. With this expansion, the benefits are also extending to their 2 employees. Our idea of microfinance is that it includes all the familiar financial functions, but on a small scale for the rural clients. That is, credit, savings, and insurance. Microfinance usually involves participation in a group. The peer group model is consistent with the Nobel Peace Prize-winning Grameen Bank program established by Muhammad Yunus in Bangladesh. The Walking with Africans Foundation, or WAF, is a startup organization developing microfinance groups in the Kibwezi district of Kenya. Why are we working in Kibwezi, Kenya? We chose Kenya because of a 28-year partnership between Burke Presbyterian Church and the Presbyterian Church of East Africa. While WAF grew out of this relationship, it operates as a separate, non-religious, non-profit organization. This microfinance program does not give money away. It serves as a very small bank that fosters and encourages its clients, many of whom would likely be denied such services from traditional banks. A quick look at the region. Kenya is in East Africa, sharing borders with Somalia, Ethiopia, Sudan, Uganda, Tanzania, and the Indian Ocean. It varies in climate from desert to savanna to mountainous to tropical jungle. The Kibwezi district is semi-arid, much like the southwest region of the United States. Kibwezi is situated near the Tsavo National Parks and Wildlife Reserves. The town of Kibwezi is a government administrative center as well as a market center for the surrounding farms. The town is about halfway between the capital of Nairobi and the seaport city of Mombasa. The district covers approximately 800 square kilometers, which is close to 300 square miles, and has a population of close to 470,000 based on the 2000 census. The Walking with Africans Foundation was incorporated in September of 2007. The partnership with Efforts of the Poor in Development, Kenya, known as EPID-Kenya, was formed in 2008 and a pilot program launched in May and June of 2009. We have collected information to measure change and outcomes since that time. Basically, WAF raises money and oversees the program, while EPID-Kenya runs the program operations in Kibwezi. It is a bare-bones operation on both sides. So far, EPID-Kenya has one program director who was trained in Bangladesh on the Grameen Bank microfinance model. They also have a part-time accountant and a board of directors made up of Kenyan business owners and managers. As the program grows, we anticipate increases in overhead for office space and transportation. WAF is composed entirely of unpaid volunteers. Although many Kenyan banks have started making microfinance loans, they are not reaching out to our target population. This is primarily made up of the underserved and very poor, usually people without any assets. Many are over the age of 60, HIV positive, or living with AIDS, and disproportionately female. They live in rural village settings in an area of subsistence farming. WAF programs do not discriminate based on gender, HIV status, age, or tribal affiliation. We support the poorest of the poor and provide the nurturing for the group and training for individuals that banks do not. We strongly believe that the entire populace is motivated to succeed and deserves an opportunity to do so. Our peer groups typically consist of 17 to 23 people. They meet on a weekly basis to make payments and savings deposits. Loan repayments are the individual's responsibilities, but become the group's responsibility if they become non-performing. Each member has 2 old-fashioned passbooks, one for loan repayments and one for their savings account. Bank deposits are confirmed at each meeting. Since the savings are held for the individual in the group savings account, they not only promote the practice of saving, but also provide a growing form of collateral. Each group has a chairperson, a treasurer, a secretary, and a deputy to do the record keeping. Groups are overseen by the EPID-Kenya program manager. The group members share business information and encourage and support one another. The social pressure to perform diligently and succeed is quite strong. Repayments rates are very high. Today, WAF supports 6 groups, and there are 2 to 3 others being developed and prepared for the program while awaiting startup capital. It takes approximately $3,000 to start a group. The Foundation's ultimate objective is to see EPID-Kenya run a self-sustaining program that prospers and grows without outside help. Now let's look at a few examples of microfinance at work. These stories reflect the ups and downs our participants have experienced while running their small businesses. This is Titus Mulu. At 34, he is one of the few younger male participants in the Machinery Hawkers Association microfinance group. He and his wife Caroline Thenya both own kiosks in the machinery market. They have 4 children and are also raising his deceased brother's 2 children. Titus is a charter member of the group and served as its first chair, a rotating role. He is still active in the group's administration to ensure continued cohesion. Now in his 3rd loan cycle of a 9-month, 10,000 Kenyan shilling loan, approximately $830, Titus continues to use his loans mainly to replenish stocks of general merchandise. With his participation in the WAF program, Titus is better able to meet school expenses for all 6 children. Since first joining the group in 2008, he has also been able to buy a piece of land where he's developed a shamba, or a small farm, and has also bought a bicycle, which is a widely used mode of transportation. Esther Mwelu is a 57-year-old widow whose husband died in 1978. Esther is also a member of the machinery group. Although she has no children of her own, she supports her sister-in-law, the wife of a deceased brother, along with her 4 children. Her household also includes her brother and a sister. After 2 loan cycles during which Esther expanded her business of selling tomatoes, vegetables, potatoes, and various other food items, she has recently relocated and decided to withdraw her membership from the group. Elizabeth Shallow is a livestock merchant who deals with goats. Her husband Daniel Shallow is a long-distance truck driver who goes as far as Kampala in Uganda on the Mombasa-Nairobi highway. They have 2 children but are also raising 3 others from a deceased sister-in-law. Elizabeth first used the loan in 2008 to boost her stock of goats, and when she applied for a second loan, she used the proceeds for school requirements and other household necessities. With a relatively larger loan, Elizabeth struggled with repayments and eventually decided to lower the amount of her third loan in 2011. She aspires to grow her business to a point of high profitability and remains optimistic that she can do so. Cyrus Xiao is one of the few men who are members of the Kibwezi Hope Self-Help Group. He and his wife Anita Kaluki Cyrus have a young daughter born in 2004. They are also raising 2 other children from his deceased brother and sister-in-law. Cyrus is a great example of the variety and ingenuity of rural businesses at the Microfinance program. Cyrus operates a kiosk for bicycle spare parts, hardware, and other mechanical tools. He used his first loan of 10,000 Kenyan shillings to expand his inventory. With his second loan, he was so ambitious that he bought himself a boda boda, which is a motorbike for carrying passengers, the latest version of a taxi in Kenya. The 2 loans allowed Cyrus to expand inventory, purchase the motorbike. However, he found it difficult to make timely repayments and began skipping group meetings. After repaying the loan through peer pressure from the group, he has decided to withdraw membership.
Penina is married with 3 children of her own and 2 orphans, making a household of 6 people. Penina sells clothing in a kiosk in the town of Kibwezi. She is now in her 3rd loan cycle and has been able to use the profits to construct a toilet outside of her house and buy 2 goats. She has been able to construct a pen for her chickens. Through the WAF program, Penina is able to pay the school fees for her children and the orphans under her care. A 60-year-old widow since 1999, Kalunda has 7 children, 3 of whom still live with her. While her children have been able to complete school through Standard 8, middle school or junior high level, her youngest is still seeking to complete his studies through college. Kalunda is the sole provider for her family and owns and operates a shamba or farm at her village in Mwanza. At Machinery Town, she rents a storeroom which she uses as a wholesale outlet for food items like millet, bananas, onions, avocado, pears, and dried fish. She travels to the Tanzanian border at Taveta to obtain her supplies. Kalunda is now in her 4th loan cycle and is one of the active, successful clients with the Machinery Group. She has even started to transfer her money to a bank account at KREP using M-Pesa, a cell phone service for saving and easy transfer of funds. In this way, she avoids keeping a lot of cash on her. Anastasia is a 45-year-old single parent with 4 children. She also supports a grandson who attends primary school, as well as her own mother who lives in a nearby village. Her oldest daughter, Josephine, helps her with her business in tasks such as maintaining records. She is an active member of the Machinery Group, but has been experiencing problems keeping up with timely payments and cooperating with other members of the group. Christine is an active, enthusiastic community leader and group coordinator. She is a musician who trains other upcoming musicians for a small fee. She also hires out her keyboard and travels around the region to perform at occasions such as retirements, birthdays, funerals, and weddings. Christine is also a coordinator of a support group of people living with HIV in and around the Kibwezi town. The group meets every week to encourage each other in taking proper medication in a timely manner and caring for each other whenever a member falls sick. With her microloans, she has been able to expand her business by increasing inventory of printed music for sale to her music students. Damaris is married and belongs to one of our newer groups, the Kamina Thina Thange Self-Help Group. She has a relatively large household with 4 school-aged children. Damaris operates a small restaurant at the nearby Mumi Market. She and her husband own a shamba, or a farm, of approximately 2 acres and a goat. She has used her first startup loan to expand her business. In this very rural village setting, the Thina Thange Group is very cohesive and collaborates on joint projects selling drinking water and young plants, trees, shrubbery to the community. Raphael belongs to another newly formed group, the Muso wa Masongoleni. Its members have not yet received their first round of loans, but are in the training and development process where they are being nurtured to better understand the practices and procedures of EPID-K and the WAF program. Raphael is married with 4 children. He plans to use the proceeds of the microloan to boost his business of brick making and is looking forward to growing a savings account. James also belongs to the Emiso Wama Songaleni group. He is married with a household of 10 people, including orphans. He owns and operates a 4-acre shamba near his village of Mtongoni, where he has 3 cows. He plans to increase his household income with the purchase of a boda boda, or motorbike, to start a taxi service. Teresia is 51 years old. She and her husband, 65-year-old Gideon, have 8 children, 4 of which still live with them at the family home in Shamba in Bodeni, near the town of Machinery. They are also raising 6 of their grandchildren. Teresia started her business in 1994 with the aid of a small loan given by her husband from his casual laborer's work, about $20. With her first WAF microloan, Teresia was able to boost her business of selling vegetables, tomatoes, and cereals. She is one of the most industrious and active members of the Machinery Group and was recently elected as their chair. She has been so successful that she has now transformed her business into a restaurant, the Jua Kali Hotel. She has also hired 6 employees who serve as kitchen and wait staff. The economic multiplier effect of microfinance loans is truly realized in this amazing success story. Teresia and every one of the loan participants are industrious and smart. With our help, they can stay on the path out of poverty. Asante Sana, thank you for your continued support.